There is only one perfect solution. There are clues that will try to trick our team.
Hello there, everyone. My name is Crazy Caleb, and that sound you just heard is the module A Message. So, with this module, what we will do is we will have a sequence of 5 different fonts of alpha, and what we need to do is we need to find that message in this atrocious storm of alphas in different fonts. So this module has 32 different fonts, and what we're going to do is we're going to find this sequence of 5 different fonts, which can be in a reversed order in this module, or a normal order, and then we're going to submit the next 5 alphas after that. So, the number one thing I want to get across is this is definitely not voice friendly. You can find a way to figure out how to communicate this to your expert, but I would highly recommend saving something like this for either Twitch plays or experting for yourself on your own time. So, how exactly does this module work? Simple. All you have to do is find these different types of alphas on the screen and just pray to God that you get lucky. So, what we would generally do is look for some key factors that we can find. It is also important to note that some of them do look very similar to one another, so important keynotes to it's important to note what some of the key things are. Let me find an example that are really close to each other. I don't know. I'll find something else later. But there are some that are very close to one another that we have to pay attention to. Oh, right here. So we have this alpha right here, and we have this alpha right here. So let me see if I can find them on here. This one right here, and this one. Notice how this one has a sort of pointier top, and if we go back to the other one, it does not. It is flat, and also just the thickness of it is a bit different as well. So now let's just pray to God that we get lucky and find the sequence of alphas that we have here. So as we can already see, our first 2 characters are the exact same. So this actually gives us a pretty big hint in narrowing down where we need to go. So I would describe this as an alpha with, I guess, multiple parts on the inside that are like in there. Let's find that. So we found this. We found what it looks like on the module. So we need to find 2 of them together, which is going to prove very difficult. And I'm not going to bother giving these things names because, quite frankly, they don't have names. As long as you can describe it to your expert successfully, you'll do fine. I hope. Like, some of them have a medieval theme, some of them are like stencils, some of them are in cursive writing. So just have fun with this module. Have fun with describing some of these, I guess. Let's find it. It is also important to pay attention for line breaks because those things exist, and they can wrap around to the next line. So let's always pay attention for those. Not having much luck finding this yet. And as you can see, this is why this module is a little bit painful. It's just because finding this little sequence of alphas with a specific font is very difficult, especially when all of these are very unique from one another. And I guess if we do want some help, I guess we can look for some of the bigger fonts because some of them have different font sizes. Like this one, like this sort of spiky, like edgy one, is a lot bigger on the font size compared to others, compared to the one that we had first. So maybe if we look for those, maybe we can get a better idea of narrowing down where we are on the module. Because these things are huge. They obviously separate, definitely, like, they obviously stand out a lot more than others. So we'll just pay attention for those and see if we can get lucky and find it. Like here. So we found our little sequence right here. And just like that, that can be a good way of narrowing down where you're at. So we have the two duplicate alphas with sort of a larger center on the inside. We have the big spiky alpha. It is also important to note that some of the colors on the module can be shaded differently on the manual. This alpha, in this case, is black on the module, but it's primarily white on the module, on the manual, excuse me. And then we sort of have this this ruler one, I guess I would describe, because it looks like a ruler on the side. But anyways, now that we found our sequence, and we've determined which direction this is going, and in this case it is reading order, we need to input the next 5 alphas in that order. And describing this is also a bit of a hassle, but I'm not going to bother describing it, and since we found our first one, we're going to click Send, and it will send that. Next up, we sort of have like this little, I guess, not pixelated one, but almost like this retro look to it. Almost looks like an R, I guess I would describe it as. So we found that. Next up is a larger alpha. It stretches out on the bottom, on the left side, down below. Did I pass it? I must have missed it. Here we are. And just like that, we're going to hit send. And then the next one, I guess I would describe this as closer towards medieval, honestly. Like right here. And next up, we have this one that looks like a chalkboard almost. That's probably the better way to describe it. Like a chalkboard, like a written on chalkboard. And just like that, we'll hit send. And it's also important to note that you actually don't have the ability to unsend some modules, so be careful with what you're going to send. And now that we have our next 5, in the input area, we're going to hit submit. Just like that, the module solves. Now see, that took me 8 minutes to do. So as you can see, it is not the nicest module. But anyways, let's see if we can get lucky with this module. Now, looking here, these sort of castle rook alphas are a little bit larger than some of the other alphas. So we can potentially find that in here a lot easier. And we have the first and the third that are the same character. So that should make our lives a little bit easier as well. Oh, and just like that, I think I found it. Yep. So now, taking a look here, if we were to do this in reading order, we'd have the rook, we have this little, I guess, barn, silo sort of alpha, I don't know. And then we have the next rook. However, we do not have this other chalkboard, one, as the next one. But what this means is, if we take a look at the reverse order, the other two do indeed pop up. So we found out we're going to need to go in reverse alphabetical order, and we're going to input the next 5 from right to left that we have highlighted right here. So next up, we're going to look for this, another one that looks like it was drawn on chalkboard, but it's more slightly slanted to the right. So let's find that. It's not that one. It doesn't curve. It's almost like an angle, as I would describe it as. And we cannot see. And that's the thing with this module. You can get lucky or unlucky with it, and it can be a bit annoying and tedious, but this is all that it is to it. It's just finding a needle in a haystack. Next up, we have this one right here. It's also important to note that we remember that, hey, it looks black and the inside is white in the manual, but it will look, but the inside will look black. The inside will look black, and the outer shading will look white. So we're going to send that next. Next up is going to be another chalkboardy one. It's actually going to be the fourth character in the message. The same as the fourth character. So next up, we're going to send that. Next up, we're going to send this larger on the right one. And finally, we're going to send the pixelated one. This one is a very easy one to describe. It has sort of like a pixel vibe, I guess. Like so. We're going to hit send and submit. Let's take a look at one final example, as I got really lucky with this, and let's see what we can do with this. Now, our first and fourth characters are the same, so we can use that to our advantage. However, I do believe that these characters are a little bit smaller. They have a relatively medium size on the module. So let's take a look. Let's take a look around and see if we can find anything that actually helps us. So let's pay attention for these guys. Have one right here. That was the same example that we had last time, not the case obviously this time around. Still looking. Wonder if I can see it better. Not really. Doesn't make a difference. Here we have the alpha. We don't have the rook anywhere to be seen. So let's keep looking. Ah, here we go. As you can see here, we found our little set right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, the first and the second characters are the exact same as the third character on the original module. So let's find that character and hit send. So we're going to be submitting these 5. We're going to submit the big easier edgy one. So we're going to submit the one that appears differently on the module, and just use anything that you can to help your diffuser, to help your expert or diffuser describe the modules, describe the letters, excuse me. Like here. And we have the ruler one, I call this one. Find it. Right there. Send, and finally submit. Sorry if I did a poor job of describing this module, but honestly, that's really the best way how you can do it, honestly. There's no pro technique on this, it's just finding a needle in a haystack. Honestly, there's 32 different fonts in this module, and it's a bit irritating. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.